Hello, welcome to House and Creatives. We're going to talk about, I think, the nodal axis in this video coming up. I believe this is you're having a nodal return this next 2 years. Nodal return that you can generate your own birth chart. We have like a free little downloadable workshop on our website that you can go check out and download if you don't know how to generate your birth chart. But a nodal axis is when about every 18 years you meet the axis where the nodes were when you were born. That would be what your north node is in your birth chart. And this Saturday, the 11th, we will be spinning right into the Pisces Virgo axis. I will talk a little bit about that, but I'm curious what you feel about your Pisces North Node. What are things that you've uncovered or the things that you've felt in your life that you feel like is tied in with your Pisces North Node? And no, just
Yeah. I'll put the book that I wish I could remember where she talks about nodes in the captions. But
is it the Jan Spiller? Is it the spiritual astrology?
yeah, but it's just I believe so. It's just the north. It's just whatever your node than just the nodes part.
Yep.
And so that one was I think she talks a lot about if your Pisces North node past lives as like a lot of medical healing, a lot of healing in general. So you're probably going to do it in this life. Um, Kind of like the weight of the world,
Mm.
a little bit, trying to carry a heavy load, which both still rings true. And then because I wish I could remember the Pisces North Node reminds me a lot of just drew a blank, but um, we'll have to circle back to that part of it. But
That's okay.
yeah, um, I thought I was gonna maybe feel like an anticipation coming up to this weekend, but I don't know. This is my only Pisces placement also.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's interesting. And what house is yours in again? Is it like the fourth or I can't remember.
Let's peek quick. I have it up.
Yeah, the fourth house. Which I is maternal, is we'll talk about kind of all this water energy in general in the next few videos here. Um, but I feel like probably a lot of ancestral healing for you,
Yeah,
honestly. Um,
which I have been feeling quite a bit heavy in the water lately.
yeah, yes,
Not
indeed.
there's not like overloaded.
Yes, yeah. Well, I think that's funny. I think that we all kind of expect to have like these big like waves of something changing or something when we have the nodal axis or the nodal return. And really, we have to think about that it's almost a year and a half, 2 year process that these axes are working with all of us. And regardless if you have this as your north or south node, it's still impacting us as a collective. We also have a free worksheet downloadable on our website that is about this access and explains the nodes and all of that. That's not really kind of our purpose here. You can also probably look anywhere on YouTube to find more information about how the moon and the earth are placed and the significance of it. I just really wanted to talk about Virgo and Pisces and how we have come out of this Aries Libra axis, that has led us to, I think, feeling a little bit more sovereign, stepping a little bit more into our own power, um, kind of eliminating or at least acknowledging where we've been martyrs, or maybe where we have been taken advantage of or lost power. And now that you kind of know who you are and what you want, now we get to step into facing how we are connected. I think that I really feel like this comes together in a sense that Pisces is is not a very easy described sign. It's kind of like the 12th house in the sense of like I think there's a lot of words that we don't have in our language that could describe or even touch point on the depth of this sign. But definitely just the spiritual influences, the empathy, the actual like realization of all of our interconnectedness, and um like kind of taking this as like um the higher consciousness that we're all trying to develop and move into, and there's a lot of unknowns in that space, because that's part of the process, right? Is like this is a journey, this is an experience to be had, and this also can be talk into some of the feelings of that. This isn't a water sign, and so there is feelings, and sometimes more on the darker side, honestly, because if you even think about spirituality, we don't really know a lot. We don't understand all of the detail. We're all just trying to grasp for things, and I think a lot of us are starting to work on opening up these clairs that we all have.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That sometimes you don't even know you have.
No, well, I think that a lot of us are tend to be surprised as we start to do the work,
Yeah.
right? Um, so with us moving into this axis as a collective, this just really speaks to the idea of really being more open to what spirituality looks like. I think there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of different avenues that people feel connected with. But that either way, we're all finding spaces that are opening us up into a different perspective and a different connection. And the South Node being in Virgo is really challenging us to question our judgments, to question the things that we have thought were right, um, you know, and bringing in how we can bring some practicality into our spirituality, and also how we can eliminate some of the practicality to go with the flow a little bit more and trust. And so I think it will be just a really kind of interesting dynamic as we go through this. And as Jackie said, also, it's a very healing access. That sixth and 12th house, or Pisces Virgo axis, holds a lot of healing. Um, and whether that was physically or spiritually, Virgo being an earth sign and Pisces being water. And so it just is, I think it will be really beautiful in how we start to actually accommodate and to bring value into taking more practice in our spiritual endeavors on a day-to-day basis, of like that this isn't just like we need to cut out an hour a day to meditate. This is like, okay, I'm making dinner and I'm going to take some intention in how I'm cutting up these vegetables and what I'm being aware of what I'm thinking about. And if at all costs, maybe I can kind of just slow down and have the meditation as I cook. you know, that's something that I can relate to because that's something that I'm able to do and what I like to do. You know, for somebody else, maybe meditation comes more in creating. You know, I feel like Jackie is more of a physical artist. And
Yeah.
so I could say that some of that artistic ability, I mean, if you even look through history of some of the most prominent artists um, out there to date, always kind of lived kind of on this line, you know, of like walking the line of light and dark, you know, and having the ability to not be scared to go into the dark to create,
Yeah.
right? Like I
Yeah.
really feel like you have that ability in your modality and in the things that you create.
It is as I the more art I do, the more I can drop in and just zone out. And it's
Yeah.
especially with carving.
Yeah. No, that's get ready. So cool. Jackie was actually created the baseline of our house and bird through a block kind of bringing in that she is wildly talented at and is hopefully going to be sharing some things that you can have too.
Yeah.
But I wonder where can you find pauses to begin to start thinking about? You know, if you don't already take pauses or take intentional time, you know, which I'm not trying to put any harsh kind of judgment. We all have lives. I have children, you know, like I don't have all the time in the world to just take to myself, but I do try to carve out a little bit of time to be thoughtful of myself when I can. And sometimes that looks differently. Like we talked about, sometimes that looks like when I'm cooking dinner of like kind of taking pushing the reset button, you know, so I can be present. And that feels like practical spirituality is like where we're just not like um going to church on Sunday to show that we showed up, but not actually practicing anything that we learned through the week. You know, it's about actually taking in these things and on a day to day basis, utilizing the things that you believe, you know, and being open to the beliefs that get challenged in cracking open kind of this like idea of what spirituality is look like, right? Like
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot out there, you guys, and some of it is, um, in my opinion, garbage. I didn't want to say that, but you know, I didn't actually want to say that. I'm, I feel like I've just been a little disappointed on some of the stuff that's out there. But that I realize that we need to start somewhere too.
Oh yeah.
I'm not like disappointed that it's out there.
Yeah. It's like hunting for an agate, cracking it open, and then it's not what you thought it was. You try again until it
Yeah.
feels right.
Yeah. Yeah. And and I think and I think that's it. And I think also this comes back to really tuning in with people that support you, understanding you and supporting you making choices for you understanding what's good for you. You know, that's like the kicker of coming out of this Aries Libra axis, right? Is like that you finally have the strength and the wisdom to know what is good for you and what is maybe harmful or not uplifting or not resonant, you know? Um, and finding practical ways to engage in these things or having the courage, these like spaces, having the courage to step into something that feels kind of out there. You know, if I could be honest, like I just started studying some galactic astrology, and some of it has felt a little beyond me, in the sense that we were raised to think that aliens were dangerous. Like and we have all this talk about star seeds and these different things, and you can really start to question, like, what the fuck is actually going on, you know? And I think this is what I'm talking about is like getting to these barriers of like, what is the line? And how much do we actually not know? There is an alignment. Yeah, like that's what I mean is like breaking through some of these barriers of things that we have been taught or have believed, and we're being exposed to different things and different people and different experiences to help us see beyond what is just this, you know?
And it's okay too.
Yeah, and that it's perfectly okay, and that some things are going to feel like right on. Like, yes, it's been an unusual journey learning about some of these, uh, the history of our galaxy and some of the things that have occurred. It's like sometimes I'm like, did somebody just write a really cool story? Like what? What? And then when I do that, I recognize that that's my ego, right? That Aries Libra axis again. It's my ego feeling like it's trying to protect me because that's what I learned. It's like that there wasn't life beyond us, And and I think that's really brought a lot of things to attention for me, and even a softening of the things that I understand, the things that I actually already know, um, and heightening some of that my own intuition and heightening things that are coming in that seem so real to me. So your permission to start exploring, right?
Yeah.
Like dig in, and there's a lot of water in this space. Venus is also in Pisces right now. And so it's a great time to start diving into empathetic actions. How does your heart feel? Mm,
Kind of full.
yeah.
But we'll have a whole nother video on that. It'll be after this one.
Well, and we will. That will be with the full moon also, but there's a lot of things happening in Pisces the next few months, you guys, and I think that this is like the real kickoff to understanding what we value and how we can find in ourselves and start to understand the things that we feel other people also feel. And being in touch with kind of these subtle energies that we have blocked out because we're too busy. We have created too much busyness in our lives to not be able to pause, to not be able to stop and understand the feelings. We also are building a course on this, about understanding how we can pick up. We are always picking up on people's subtle energies. That's why after you go to a party or something and you're drained or whatever, you know what I mean? Like you were just unconsciously like picking up on everybody's stuff, good and bad, if that's a thing. It's good to say. But of like really starting to be aware of other people and what you can do to be the light that you want to see present. How do you create the world how you want to see it, you know? And I think that you probably have some really good ideas. So keep following them. Dig in.
Yeah.
We'll probably talk more about this. This is just the beginning, right? We're just going to begin starting to feel this. And so I love to come back and check in and see how everything's kind of shaken out. So we'll talk about this in a future date.
if you have any questions about the Pisces Virgo, drop them below.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Please
Stay
like
tuned.
and subscribe.
like and subscribe.